That go to the 41, push the 41. He's got to run on the 48, Jimmy Johnson.
I think.
Johnson gets turned!
Not again.
Kyle Busch into Larson into Johnson. And for what, the 7th year in a row, Jimmy Johnson will crash out of the clash.
Kurt Busch jumps out of line to make a move. And now you've got the 42, and I believe the 18 is behind the 42. So he comes up to Jimmy Johnson,
Bam.
gives him a little shove,
And that
just turns him.
Turned him.
And, you know, the front nose on these Camaros is very pointed and doesn't really line up great to the rear bumper, even of other Camaros. That's going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on through speed weeks.
That was a pretty hard shot he gave. You know, that was it was harder than a bump. It takes so little.
It looked like the car got pretty loose right there. As he moves down, I believe he blows a left rear tire, sends him into Eric Almirola. Daniel Suarez has to avoid him, spins to the infield. I think other than some tires, Daniel might be okay. Heavy damage to the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
All right, let's turn up our Fox visor cam and show.
They've seen in any kind of conditions. I just wonder if maybe there was a rub on that left rear fender.
Here's Jimmy Johnson's radio.
I didn't see any tire rubs or anything. I'm really perplexed. All right. Well, we'll get the backup up. All right, bud. Thanks, man. Sorry.
Now, clearly in that view, the left rear was down. 11 complete.
Chase Elliott pushing the issue with Eric Jones.
Oh, Jones around.
Just like we saw in Duel 1 with Stenhouse.
Yep, same thing.
Matthew Benedetto, the 32. Patrick shoots by. Kyle Larson is in it.
Larson, minimum damage. Oh, no, his left front's tore up. Elliott side drafted in the 78. He goes for a move, and he says, no, I'm not quite ready to make that move. But he stays right there on that crucial part of the quarter panel, and that air, as it was packing up on that left rear, as Eric Jones came off the banking, spun him right around.
I don't think that Jones ever hit anything.
You can see Jones gets a little
contact
loose right
there. You saw that right front tire spoke a little bit.
And a tough break for the 32 at Benedetto. Go Fast Racing, one of the sport's smaller teams, caught up in that one.
Danica did a great job making it through.
Number 22 of Logano to see if he will be penalized. Look at this! Stenhouse! He saved it!
No, Eric Jones is not going to be able to save it.
Jones did not.
Come on.
Jones, his teammate Suarez, William Byron, Jimmy Johnson are all in it along with Ty Dillon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trevor Bain was able to weave his way through there.
Caution. Out what happened here, 3 wide. Look at the orange number 19 and the 88.
So the 12 of Blaney goes try to make a move on the 17 of Stenhouse. He blocks it. They make contact. Great save by Stenhouse, but so much momentum coming with the 20 of Eric Jones. When he gets into the back of the 17 of Stenhouse, his car starts going around on him.
What a shame. What a shame.
6 cars developed.
Big move to the outside to block Blaney by Stenhouse. I thought for sure Stenhouse was going around.
Yeah, he looked like he was long gone, and that's really what caused this whole thing. When he came up in front of Eric Jones in the 20, Jones had nowhere to go.
And Bowman had filled that space in the inside to make it 3 wide with Eric Jones, so he had nowhere to go.
Nope.
Big push coming from Elliott and Keselowski. Contact! Elliott slam into the wall.
Are you kidding me?
Danica Patrick, Casey Kane.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
You all right?
9 of Chase Elliott. Last second, at least from that, big hit.
Yeah.
And, you see, incredible these runs that come so fast. You cannot protect against that run.
Kurt Busch around off the bumper of Blaney.
Inside. Call collector inside. You should be the leader.
Looks like
Truex not able to avoid this one. Or Bowman.
Oh, Bowman's got it. But Hamlin put a block on the 41.
Yeah,
there.
that
Kurt
stalled out
Busch.
the 41. The 12's right in that area, that left rear that turns him around.
Yeah.
And with Alex half the field.
It was on from there.
This is all air, folks. That's just air coming off the front nose of that 12 car and pushing on that left side quarter panel of the 41. Of course, then they finally made contact.
Wadded up a bunch of race cars. Oh my goodness.
Looks as if as many as eight lead lap cars made it through unscathed. Wow, what a shower of sparks.
It's like a really bad video game.
And some of those eight, like Ryan Newman and maybe Allmendinger, do have some damage.
But those are, what about these shots?
Martin Truex believes he has a flat tire.
That's all that's left. Boy, this is going to take
to the top lane.
Going to have to be quick. Going to have to be quick.
Almirola up to cover. Dylan, where will
Dylan's
he go?
gonna get there.
Oh, into Almirola. Around he goes.
Good
Hang on to it, bud. Hang on to it.
More energy, extra strength, big move of the race.
We see Bubba Wallace gets to the back bumper of the 3, gives him a big push. The 10 gets stalled out a little bit here. The 3 goes down low. Now he goes to the high side. They hook bumpers. Staying out for Truex is not.
Oh, trouble!
no.
Kurt Busch around, hard into the wall
The
after
9,
contact with Chase Elliott.
Wow.
Those old tires. So you can see the closing rate. Paul Menard comes right to his rear bumper.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh, the 41 looked like he pushed loose and it's shot into the wall in front of Chase Elliott.
Yeah, he just lost grip and shot right into Chase Elliott.
You know what that 78 is going to be doing, don't you?
Chase Elliott was right on his outside.
Now been closed for about a decade. That's where Kevin Harvick started. And how about Rio Linda? 1/20th of a mile around, but plenty big enough for those quarter midgets to jump.
The contact between Larson and Harvick.
Wow.
Come undone. What happens here?
Let's see what they're close together going down the back.
Harvick comes down, and then the 42 comes up. They make contact. It turned the 42 sideways into the 4 Harvick, and he made heavy contact with the outside wall.
Yeah, that right front took a lick. I'm going to say, Mike, that was just one car went down a little bit, and one car came up a little bit. I don't know if I could put a blame on either guy.
I'm not exactly sure why Harvick came down at all.
Let's see if he gets loose coming off turn 2 before this gets started here.
And you can see the 42. Yeah,
he slips up the hill a little
gets
bit.
Him a little loose.
Yeah.
And it looked like Harvick gathered it back up. Maybe didn't quite appreciate the 42 getting him loose like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I can blame that all on.
No, I'd say Kevin was definitely moving left when that happened.
Come apart, and that's what goes up through the hood.
Bam.
Wow, look at the angle.
Talk to us, bud. Yeah, that was lovely. All right, jump forward.
Now Eric Jones to the bottom, but then you saw Chase Elliott on the outside of the 18 and the 41 right there.
Trouble!
man.
One car around and one in the wall.
Hamlin's in.
11 and the 10.
And
Hamlin,
48.
Keselowski involved, and Almirola, and Jimmy Johnson.
Now they're 3 wide. Oh, he checks up a lot. Oh, that gets 11 loose underneath the 10 and Almirola.
Oh boy, the 2 got a ton of damage. So did 48. Wow, the 48 plowed in that inside wall. There's a 6. That took out a bunch of cars, guys. Like the 11 got a little bit loose, maybe under the 10. Couldn't.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting Almirola to check up as much as he did.
I think Almirola knew the 8.
So it's Denny Hamlin that goes sideways in front of half the field.
This is why it's so important to have a wall that's softer on the inside as well as in.
Yeah, one thing I think about the traction compound.
Trouble.
Oh, good grief.
Chase Elliott.
Oh, no.
Michael McDowell.
Oh,
Martin
Truex is
Truex
the last second.
piles
Truex.
in.
Yeah, just a lot of, I mean, this is what happens at this track, particularly early in the race. Everybody bunched
just
up.
Gets loose underneath the 19 as Suarez comes around and collects Chase Elliott and some others. Boy, look at the great job Eric Jones and William Byron did squeezing by.
And Martin Truex just can't get stopped.
I don't think that a lot of bad damage on that 9 car, but certainly a lot of damage on the 78. Mike, I was just going to say that traction compound, it's a little slick right now. You got to get a little heat in it. I noticed when I was driving the pace car, it's still a little sticky, but it's slick until you get a little heat in it.
And I think 78 of
Slowski looking for the lead on teammate Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, Blaney was working the bottom lane on some lap cars.
Trouble, turn 3.
Yikes!
No. Get around the corner.
Good.
Trevor Bayne
gracious.
went around. He got turned. And as Chris Buescher slid up the racetrack, there was Ryan Blaney.
Try not to go lap down.
Yeah, you see Bayne up there in the 6.
They go 3 wide. Chris Buescher goes to the outside.
51 kind of caught in the middle. And,
yeah, Bayne just didn't know Buescher was on the outside.
Yep. Ooh.
Blaney just know where to go as Rhodes slides up the racetrack.
And Keselowski did a masterful job of avoiding all that.
Yeah, he kind of went to the bottom of the 12, and I think that actually paid off. There's the contact between Trevor Bayne and Chris Buescher. I think because Keselowski started to go to the bottom of the 12 of Blaney, it put him in a much better lane to avoid that.
Yep.
I believe Bayne would have been the free pass car, but since he's in the middle of it.
What a shame.
Yep.
What a shame.
Ryan Blaney had the lead for 99 laps. McMurray, he has a big run down.
Oh, we got one spinning.
And it's McMurray.
Got it.
Man, that thing is flipping, rolling.
That car is junk.
You got that right.
Well,
I just
he
hope
went
he's
for a
okay.
ride right
He
there.
had been in
a pretty good run. No, he maybe cut a tire.
Something happened to that car. It just went around all by itself on the straightaway.
And see, what really slid that car over was when Newman hit him on the left side. It lifted the right side up and caught air.
Yeah.
And look at that car come apart against the fence.
It just disintegrates.
I mean, everything did its job of what it's designed to do. The fence kept the car on the racetrack. Car stayed intact.
Watch this car now. It's just gonna turn all by itself right there.
Oh, the left rear. The left rear tire.
Yeah. Right over the top of Newman's car.
Yeah. Newman and Ty Dillon both with a good bit of damage.
And Mike, the 2 fastest cars, the 1 and the 13, were both involved in that accident.
That's right. Back straightaway. Eric Jones up into Jamie McMurray, who collects Trevor Bayne in the 6, and it's on.
Oh,
hard
Bayne on a
left
hard
side
hit.
hit.
Martin Truex involved.
McMurray, you'll see him. He gets involved in this. It almost looked like his wreck from Friday. Starts off that way.
Right across
Jones.
into Truex. And then Bayne in the 6 to the inside barrier. And let's ride through this with Martin and David Reagan. A nice job keeping off of the back of Harvick as everybody checked up.
Yeah, I'd seen the 20 car wiggle earlier when he was trying to stay on the lead lap. That car was pretty loose in the back, even earlier.
Yeah, there were a bunch of those cars right in there, the 20, the 1. They were all but kind of sandwiched in between 3 fast Chevrolets, too, 88, 9, 48.
Oh, they're spinning.
Oh, Menard up and into Boyer, into the wall. Gets collected by McDowell.
Oh, no.
Keselowski crashes, and more cars are littered at the bottom of the racetrack.
Guys, I think that somebody may have gotten loose, got either into Jimmy Johnson or his car got loose and came down.
Mike, this third turn has been a problem turn all day long. I've seen cars get loose getting into 3 all day long.
You can see as the,
Ooh.
I don't know. I think that's the 48 as a right front fender. The 24 got close to the left rear, just pushed that air in that left rear and brought it around.
Wow. Gray Gaulding shoots the middle and makes it. Wow. And they just keep piling up.
Wow. Unbelievable. You see Bubba there on the right of the screen. Don't think he hit anything.
So you see the 24 starts coming up. Look, it just seems like the air changed and allowed that 48 to just get loose.
Yeah, the 48 and the 24. I think the 24 may have gotten on the brakes and that caused his car to get loose. But I don't know what happened to Johnson. That thing just turned sideways. And I've seen that time and time again up there in turn 3.
Casey Kane shoots through the black car with the yellow number on top.
What about that wind direction over?
Also keep an eye on.
Oh, you can see Jimmy's loose right there.
He just turns down in front of the 24 and it's on from there. The 21 gets tagged.
And the wind is blowing from outside the track directly across the right side of these cars.
Look at Levin get scoot right through there. Hamlin
gets his lap back.
Unbelievable. Keselowski up the hill and torn up. 34 of Reagan.
Three, Elliott to the bottom this time. Harvick upstairs.
Boy, he is, and he is right up against that wall, but he made the pass. Oh, trouble.
Hard, the wall goes William
Byron noses in.
Oh,
Byron went in hard.
Oh. Matt Kent's has piled into Byron right to the 14 car right at the end there. 24 set down here on fire. 37, the 1.
Hey.
Oh boy, they're 4 wide there.
Byron on the bottom.
He just gets loose underneath
he just
the 14.
starts spinning out. Gets into the.
Man, it just.
Oh my gosh, the car almost went over.
Just hooked, nosed in.
How many times have we seen a car land on top of Ryan Newman?
Ryan Newman? Yeah.
I mean, that's 2 or 3 times I can remember.
Too many.
Remember, he was with McMurray down in Talladega when that happened.
Matt Kenseth climbs from his car. He's okay. Look at Kevin Harvick, just missed this.
Oh my, how close was that for Harvick?
And for Kurt Busch also, maybe a little damage to the right side actually from the 14.
I think we now know where the golden horseshoe went.
We do tonight. Jimmy Johnson going by, it's down in the grass. It's a huge wreck with all this happening in front of the field, so it involves a lot of cars. Chris Buescher.
Jeff, I wonder, did Byron having just 2 fresh tires play into this perhaps?
It's certainly possible, but I mean they went down in the corner 3 and 4 wide, and there's just no give at this point. You're pushing as hard as you can. You can see Byron comes up off that white line a little bit and is sliding, trying to save it. I think it finally hooks.
I think the 14 being on his outside.
Oh, that didn't help at all.
It just pulled him around. But he only had 2 tires, so you're already at a disadvantage, and then you get pulled around. Stenhouse made a nice move to get through there.
Bowman also.
Jimmy Johnson. And, Austin Dillon on the outside.
You see Kenseth come in right at the end.
Yep. Boy, that 24, though, it took a hard lick into that.
But he went down there, got a good shove from the 2, keeps the lead.
How about riding right in the middle now? Just waiting for whichever line. Huge push. And around goes a 2. Too big of a push. He caught the 41.
The big one.
Logano's caught up in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Denny Hamlin. Austin Dillon has damage. Daniel Suarez trying to avoid. Ty Dillon sliding in.
Throttling down a little bit because he was going to run to the back of the 24 because you see the 24 blocking here. So Brad's probably throttling down a little bit. And, Stenhouse coming across the nose.
Yeah, so right here, the 17. Watch the 17 when he gets into the rear bumper. Right there, hits him in the right rear, and that's what sends him. We talked about that earlier. That's where you want to bump draft somebody. You want to bump them in the right rear. But when you do that and the speed's wrong and it's misaligned and also he's turning left, then that literally just shoves the left rear bumper to the inside of the car and it shoots the nose straight to the wall.
And we've seen this generation of car, these guys, you know, their bumpers don't line up all that great. We don't never see these guys lock bumpers like they used to, or like we see in the Xfinity Series. So anytime they make a push, they got to be careful. And that was incredibly, there's just so much happening there, as you see, running up on William Byron so fast.
Look who gets through. The 31 of Ryan Newman, the 18 of Kyle Busch. But after that, everyone fighting to find some type of a clear racetrack. The 41, Jimmy Johnson sideways, but is there contact? He was still in the gas as it came up on the high banks.
Guys, get up there. Too late. 18's on his quarter panel. He's going to side draft him right here in 3 and 4. Oh my goodness.
Sideways the 18, hard into the wall. Around goes the 24 as well. William Byron sliding all the way to the inside wall. Jamie McMurray caught up as well. Kyle Larson avoiding the 18. He went way down on the apron.
24, not following his line exactly. He's also trying to side draft. So Ricky's trying to side draft 18. 18's coming down to side draft to 24. Just a couple bad decisions there. Trying to, you know, you got to be aggressive on the side draft, and that's what happens sometimes when there's 3 or 4 guys trying to do the same thing.
So what the 17's trying to do right there is he's trying to get as close to the left rear quarter panel of the 18 to slow him down, and he gets into him. You know, he came up the racetrack so aggressively, I almost wonder if he got tight or something. Like,
maybe.
You know, he can see that the 18 is right next to William Byron. The 18 can't go any lower. Watch what happens right here. So see how close the 18 and the 24 are. Right here. 18, he's not going to go any lower. The 17's up the racetrack and gets into the 18. Just makes me wonder if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. didn't lose the front of the car and get up the racetrack and get into the side of him. In trying to side draft and you're close to somebody, if your car gets tight and it moves 2 feet, now you're into the left rear quarter panel and causing a wreck.
We've saw these guys have balance issues on the bottom groove. And he could have lost the front in the dirty air of the 24. He could have lost the nose a little bit there. I think he was going up there to get a little side draft and maybe did.
Forward.
I wonder if he didn't take it because of his teammate, or the teammate to the 4 cars behind him.
Into the wall again. This time Eric Almirola caught up. The 00 of Joey Gase and the 34, who had a great run tonight, gets caught up in it, Michael McDowell.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson as well.
Here they are, 3 wide, 4 wide.
Yeah, the 4 wide just hooked him.
Yeah. Just not enough. This track is just not wide enough for 4 wide. At Talladega, you can make it work. It's a little bit wider, but this racetrack is just not as wide as Talladega.
Here's another look at it. The 00's already hooked. Turned down the corner. Joey Gase, he's just trying to gather it up. Nowhere for those guys to go.
And Jimmy Johnson's like, oh, I've seen this before.
That heavy impact with McDowell sandwiching Eric in the wall. Wow, what a hit. This shears that.
The wheel comes off, and then you see the 48 sliding down into the grass. The wheel actually comes back and hits the 10 and rolls over the top of it and then keeps going down the racetrack.
That hurts.
Look at this.
Yeah, see
the wheel comes back, runs over the top of the 10 and keeps going.
Those hurt when you're the outside car.
Once they get the white flag, the next flag will call it the 14 around. Boyer into the wall. The caution comes out just before they get to the start-finish line.
Some big impacts.
Bain caught up, as is Bubba Wallace. Brendan Gaughan also in this. The 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
Bubba's got a little tire rub there, but he's shoving and he just turns, pushing so hard. And Clint was moving around on the front bumper. And it hooked him into the wall.
Right there you see Bubba's pushing the 14, and the 14 moved to the left, and when he did, now he's pushing him on the extreme right rear of the bumper, and just like the wreck we saw earlier in the race, it just turns the car directly head on into the wall. And you know, when you're pushing somebody, how you are pushing them is so important. You have to have everybody has got to be lined up, and the most effective way is on that right rear, but if you get misaligned just a touch, boom, that's what happens. It just yanks it to the right. Trevor Bain with a big hit, too.
Yeah, remember, these cars going over 180 miles an hour. Hard impact into the wall.
Yeah, guys, you've mentioned this is how it starts. The 14 gets turned, big impact. But look at Jimmy Johnson come in. He's at the top of the screen. He hits the wall. Then he's into Clint Boyer, and he starts to turn left. He's going to basically come right at me. We talked about the pit box being in the center of the action. Well, this is another shot for the 48. And at this point, he's just along for the ride. But you see why NASCAR doesn't use these last 3 pit stalls anymore. This is basically pit stall 2. I'm 1 pit stall to his left.
To go, he went on to win that race.
Oh, hard into the wall. It's the 43. Bubba Wallace slams the wall.
Not a fan of this, Rick. I've seen this before. Jeff Gordon and I were here. We had a brake failure. He took that same left-hand turn. Dale, you have to assume, seeing the 43 down in the left in the grass, he's trying to do anything to slow that car down, and what a heavy, heavy impact into that safer barrier.
Yeah, that is the most frighteningest feeling that a driver can have when you have no control, either no brakes or no control of your car. Right there goes one.
Yep, that piece right there in the middle of the screen.
And we turn around, here's another piece, and here's a couple flying through. If you watch the bottom of the screen here, big chunk right there. And when he mashed.
See the white car on the bottom of the racetrack, that's Ty. Oh, he ran over something.
What the heck?
Yeah, he ran over something, and then, I don't know if it knocked an oil line out of it, Steve. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like oil smoke because it's coming out of both front tires. And right there, the right front tire looks up.
Oh, wow. This is huge.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow. That angle of impact.
Spring rubber flying out of the car.
Let's go back and see if we can figure out what that was that he ran over.
It looks like a
That's got to be
tungsten.
Yeah, that's got to be a weight. Because watch the damage it does to this car.
Yeah, watch the front jump up when it hits it. If that is a piece of tungsten, look
Just
at that.
tears that splitter off.
If that is a piece of tungsten, Steve, they'll have to be labeled by the Cornard. But he's also in that position. If he can win tonight, he's in the playoffs.
He really closed on Kyle Larson in 3 and 4.
And a pile up in the middle. The 18 of Kyle Busch is around. Contact, they're rolling in there. Greg Gaulding hits late.
And Steve, you said it.
I don't think I got the left front
Just because you see Kyle Busch on the bottom of the racetrack, gets up the racetrack, out of that sticky stuff into Ryan Blaney, then he just spins in front of the field.
And when he does that, a roadblock right there on the front stretch.
Little contact for the 78.
See right there, he's up the racetrack, a little bit of contact, spin. It's just so hard to get slowed down.
Well, that's pretty significant contact for the 78 there.
Watch this impact. Right in the door. Fortunately, Jesse Little in that 96 had gotten slowed down.
It's pretty good contact. The one thing you're concerned about with the 18 is how much was that contact?
Yeah, and he's inside the 12. There's no contact that forces the 18 up the racetrack. He just loses control. His race car slides up, maybe touches the 12 limit, spins around, and now he's just at the mercy of everybody behind them. The track gets clogged. There's contact. This hit right here from the 96, you heard Dale Jr. talk about it.
It's been an incredible run by Kyle Busch.
Oh,
the 18 teaming out into the back of the 78. Martin Truex Jr. slamming into the wall. He hits again. Contact made. Kyle Busch got to the back of the 78. The 78 spins.
Kyle Busch. Truex taking it. Come down the track a little bit, but really didn't turn into the 18 car.
J.J. Yaley just trying to get by. Nothing he could do. Watching the 78 come right across the racetrack. Huge impact.
Yeah, that angle into the inside wall is an odd one and a tough one. Just barely touches him there.
Yeah, Martin's not going to be happy with that. I don't think Kyle did it on purpose by any means, but certainly those are hard shots.
Be able to stay on the racetrack. Oh, big wreck in the middle of 3 and 4. Hard contact into the wall.
Oh, my God.
Huge wreck. The 14 of Clint Boyer. Look at the damage. 31, Ryan Newman. The 96 of Jeffrey Earnhardt. Man, look at the 14 car. I looked up out the window and saw both cars going up the banking.
Here's Newman. Oh, man.
It's very clear to me the 31 was coming to pit road, and Clint Boyer had no idea. He had no idea the 31 was pitting. Heavy contact. Man, look at this right here.
Clint Boyer hit
Hard twice.
twice. He hit way hard.
Yeah, that's the last hit's the worst because all the crumple zones and everything, the absorbing impact stuff is already absorbed the first impact.
This is a big hit.
Oh,
Jeffrey Earnhardt sliding in there.
this one right here is not much better.
No, this is the worst one because he's already got so much damage.
Look at that wall, how much that wall moves when he makes contact.
I mean, normally you would expect, maybe see a hand waving out the window, but the difference is in speed. He had to be so far behind him on the backstretch, he probably couldn't even see the 31 when he was on the backstretch.
Yeah, what these spotters will typically do is in a race like this with this type of situation, they would be extreme. He's in the wall in turn 3 here. Spinning down in front of cars. Oh, contact. 51 couldn't get slowed down enough. What Bubba does, I'm not sure how this happened or why he must have touched the brake pedal, noticing no brake pressure, and just immediately turned left. All 4 tires were up on the car as he was sliding by, so it didn't blow a tire and make that turn. That had to have been a driver input. And, it's a very scary situation. He tried to defuse it. Kelly.
And when Bubba Wallace just been...
Car goes to position number 3.
I have to imagine when Matt Kenseth took the opportunity to come back and drive these race cars. Oh, we got a crash off of turn 2.
Big wreck involved. You see the 47 as well.
Looks like Allmendinger's loose underneath the 88. As they get together and head into the fence. Heavy contact with the right rear quarter panel for the 88.
That was a fight for 16th, Junior.
Look at the 41. Kurt Busch and the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse splitting the 2 spinning race cars.
Another look as
Oh,
they
boy.
catch the wall. Yeah, the 47 just got into the back of the 88. Both of them sliding into that outside wall, and then a hard contact for Allmendinger on the inside wall.
Rick, the safer barriers are getting their work out here in Indianapolis, but the first racetrack to have them. Great safety innovation. The first track that NASCAR goes to the 14, and even without
That's a
caution.
crash into short chute of turn 3 and 4.
Big crash there.
There's the caution.
Caution comes out. Landon Castle involved.
Heavy damage on the 00 of Landon Castle.
So he was running 28th. Also,
You see Jeffrey get loose. It's just side by side through the corner is tough here, and it takes the side force off of the inside car. And if you're in that car, you have to be ready and know that, and try to anticipate it. Hard to do though.
And what a huge impact from both of those cars. You see the 00 Landon Castle kind of got squeezed into the wall, and both of those guys hit really hard.
we've already seen Jeffrey Earnhardt climb out of the 96.
Look at this right here. It just squeezes Castle. That is a major impact for both drivers.
It's in the back of the 4 here once he's in the fence.
Oh, that's a sickening sound when that thing comes apart. It's like a bomb goes off in there. It scares you to death. And then here comes Eric Jones. Both of these guys, you said it, Rick, this is the first race of the playoffs, and Eric Jones does not have a whole lot of playoff points. Kevin Harvick does have some, but already before the end of the second stage in the first race, both of these guys have a lot of ground to make up.
How fortunate for the 88 and the 48. They're in front of the 4 because he was coming up the racetrack straight regardless. Same unfortunate thing for the 20. Bad timing.
And they had just gotten by him off of turn 2. He had all kinds of issue off turn 4. Then he went to turn 2.
Really fast he has been today. They've had to recover from one slow pit stop, and Chase Elliott back up running 6th.
Big hit by Jamie McMurray. Into the wall he goes. Catches the 9 of Chase Elliott. McMurray sliding up the track. Now back down into the traffic.
All you got.
But McMurray and the back end of that car gone.
Poke out of the right rear. Now right here, look at this, to the bottom, and watch how quick this car turns around and up the racetrack.
Chase Elliott just absolutely nowhere to go. Somebody sitting at home saying, why didn't he just turn left? Well, the cars don't turn that quickly. You cannot get it slowed down and turn left quick enough to avoid that. You can see how quick the one goes around from this shot. And there's Chase. He knows it's coming. There's just absolutely nothing he can do.
Yeah, just like Eric Jones earlier today. The speed of these cars in the corner and the grip that this track, or the lack of the grip this track has, got loose on the nose of that car. Oh, Allmendinger, I don't think really got into him.
Yeah, Allmendinger didn't get into him to start it by any means. Big impact, though.
Yeah. When I was watching it live, because that bright yellow 21 there at the bottom, it just misses the accident. Rick, you mentioned new tires. He did put sticker tires on. Ricky Stenhouse hit so close to that opening again.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe yesterday. Keselowski forging ahead of the 22.
We got another crash.
And they crash behind with the 34 into the wall, collecting the 41 of Kurt Busch.
2 more playoff drivers, the 41 and the 14, both involved.
Got Reagan.
Loose.
Reagan and McDowell.
Yeah.
Right there.
Teammates.
Yeah, and 41 right behind him. 41 looks good till right there.
I'll tell you what's
There
surprising.
it is right here. You see on the left side of the screen, Reagan just got up the racetrack and got into McDowell. That's what started it.
Next week is Richmond. That's supposed to be a short track. As much carnage as we've seen here, this looks more like a short track race than what we would see in Richmond.
It's a playoffs, Rick. Every year, Jeff, you and I have this conversation. What do we say? Man, I don't know. I mean, is this elimination format going to change the way they drive? Yes, it is absolutely going to change the way they drive. These guys take risks that I don't believe. My opinion is they don't make these risks in the regular season. I'm not even sure they're doing it conscious. I think it's just a subconscious reaction to the position they're putting in. These drivers, Dale, they are aggressive when the playoffs start.
Since we've been in the booth at Chicago, it's been this way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember the intensity being like this when I was in the race car, much less the first half of the season. But something's happened. These guys are putting it on the line. They're taking risks.
And we've been talking about the race car drivers having trouble with this track. How about the pace car driver?
So we are going to assume this is Brett Bodine just because it's fun.
And he's normally the pace car driver.
Look, he just gets loose and he's nowhere to go.
Wow.
And that's a moment that you're thankful that wall is designed to move.
Is correct. Oh, man.
Huge impact there.
And Steve, you've mentioned it, that backstretch chicane is so inviting because it invites you to carry so much speed through there.
Well, there's a car in front of them.
Oh, took a peek there around Ryan Newman, and
there's no real estate.
Oh, man. Again, holy Toledo. Well, you hit those turtles, and you literally fly in the air. Happens quick.
Guys, that is the biggest problem with that corner, is that it is single groove. You saw
Just a little too fast. Got on the brakes and locked him up.
Side Larson on the outside. Back up through the gears they go. A little shove from Martin Truex Jr. And too hard through one. Keselowski, Larson both into the wall. They pile up in the Tug's heartburn turn. Caution coming out again.
He knows he's in trouble, got the left front locked up, and now just nowhere for these guys to go. I think even the 18, he was in too deep.
A lot of guys really did have a lot of trouble getting out of the corner. That is so strange to have so many cars overshoot the same corner on restart.
understanding the grip. You know, you have to trust that the car, the 21, the 18.
So we've had a lot of laps without a restart through that turn. Guys continuing to run that bottom preferred line and dirting up that outside line.
Look at our guys battling for that last spot, transferring to playoffs.
What I'm worried about right here,
It will roll them again, but race leader Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson into the wall. Many of the playoff contenders having a problem. Banked curve at Charlotte Roval. Now he goes to the inside. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. Locks the brakes up. And he's going to slide. He slides through the middle. Truex gets tagged. Now it'll be a fight for the finish line. Ryan Blaney in the 12 will win.
He stopped. He came to a full stop to make sure that he was good with NASCAR. Where's he going to finish?
48-78.
After the race.
Look at that. That was after the checkered flag had been out. And Martin Truex Jr. showing his frustration. Again, this was the final two turns. They were coming up on 16 and 17.
Wow. Jimmy trying to get down in that corner too hard. Now Jimmy stops here. Watch. So I believe the 48's going to be.
There they go. Here comes the 11 of Denny Hamlin. He brings the 10 of Eric Almirola. Almirola hit the wall. Into the wall, then into the 2. The 2 goes around. The caution's going to come out again.
Caution is out. Parker down easy.
Alex Bowman collected as the two-car bracket. Keselowski sideways on the straightaway.
Bouncing back off.
And he's just going as hard as he can. He knows he has to push, and you see him, the car get out from under him, get in the fence, come down into the 2, trying to correct his car. Back into the outside wall, hard with the right front. That's a tough hit for the 10 car. The 78.
That's big contact for the 78.
Yep. He clips.
How about Harvick?
How about the 4 of Harvick getting
18
by?
got by.
Tough deal for the 88 crew. They were kind of putting themselves in position for maybe a top 10 finish.
Fought hard all day long.
At other racetracks, I think more cars get by. There's more room to move around, but that's it, right? The 78, the 88, that's it. There's no more real estate. You can only go to the bottom of the concrete.
The monster. I'm telling you. Look at the 12.
Yeah, the 12 of Blaney.
That's 2 weeks in a row.
Off his car.
Look at that right there. You see that? The 10 car, that bump, Junior, off of 2. As soon as he rolled through that bump, that's what I think upset his car. Let's see if we can get another view of it.
Separated themselves, and now they're going to fight amongst themselves.
Oh, we got a crash in the back here in turn 4.
Into turn 4, up into the wall. The 23 is there, as well as Alex Bowman in the 88. The caution will come out.
Right damage, guys, right rear.
It's going to go to overtime.
You knew it was coming. You knew it had to happen.
Pretty heavy right side damage.
William Byron involved. We knew something like this was about to happen.
Got Alex in the middle. On the outside, Trevor Bain. Trevor gets a little loose, but they're 4 wide here. And it looks like that Alex gets loose. Just the air around that car created that. I do not believe that the 32 of Matt DiBenedetto touched that 88. It was just where the 88 was and the lack of downforce and air and side force on that car. It just got loose and spun out.
And not something uncommon with these Hendrick Motorsports cars. We've seen this over and over. When they get 3 wide and get in these compromising positions, they become very difficult to drive, and the cars, you know, that's probably the 7th, 8th time we've seen a Hendrick Motorsports car do that over the last several years. Be aggressive.
One more time around. Will they have enough fuel? Their teammate ran out of gas. Into the wall. Matt DiBenedetto in the 32.
And there's a big wreck behind you, big wreck behind you.
The caution won't come out if it will not affect the end of this race. We'll see if NASCAR will throw it. If they have to get to the driver.
Yeah, you see 42 of Larson trying to push Matt DiBenedetto through that pack. And
so the 9 and 32 were caught up in this one.
He touches the 6, and that gets the 6 car into the right rear quarter panel of Matt DiBenedetto and turns him into the wall. And then you see all those guys behind him, nowhere to go, trying to avoid it, getting into each other.
See Truex and Kyle Busch. Truex.
Yep. The 18 still What happened?
He's going to come in the picture already backwards.
Wow. Man, I don't know. It's like he didn't even have any brakes. It was going so fast.
Hard hit.
That's a huge hit.
I don't know if the tire went down and took the brake line off. I mean, that thing was screaming fast.
Yeah, if the tire failed right on corner entry, it would just be no way to get the car slowed down.
Outside of that 20. The 20 gets loose.
20 loose. Here comes the 18. Kyle Busch. What a lead
Into the
start.
side of the 41. The 41 in the fence.
They're
And now they're
wrecking.
sideways. The 11 goes down. The 9 gets caught. The 41 involved. Championship contenders involved here. Look at the damage to the 41 of Kurt Busch.
Car, once the contact starts right here, the 11 up the track.
Denny was a little loose. You see him check the back of the car a little
into
bit.
the 41. 41 in the wall. That shoots him back to the 11. And now it's just on. You saw the 41 in the wall again. Then watch the 41. He now turns left, not intentionally. He didn't mean to do that. And there's the 9 car. 9 cars championship hopes go away right there, as well as the 41.
And again, both drivers were below the cutoff line entering this race, but both had fought at different times during this race and were in the top 4 in points. Both had been up front and led laps. And now both the championship hopes and that journey will end at this race.
You can see right there, Denny's turned to the right, chasing the back of the car up the racetrack into the 41.
I want to know what the 78 Martin Truex Jr. is thinking right about here.
Yeah, watch how hard he has to hit the brakes to avoid all this.
We were just talking about that off air a little bit. Like, what do you do as a crew chief? Like, I'm not Martin Truex Jr. I'm like, oh, I got to stop.
That looks like a major engine issue. I'm sure the oil dumps underneath the car, no grip in the rear tires.
Yeah, you can see the fluid pouring out.
Big concern when that
was
spins
sideways.
around, it kind of forces the flames up inside the car. Scary situation.
Very hot in there, I promise you.